Is he the remote? Who recording? Shaking. Yeah, man. What up?
And you don't stop.
We don't stop.
Hey, back for another one.
Another one.
Another great.
Another great.
New equipment, all that.
Yeah, it's fresh, bro. Nice,
You know
fresh
what I'm
mics,
saying?
man. Fresh microphones.
As y'all
holding
can
it
see.
down, look nice. Yeah, it's cool. Welcome to the Culture Keeper podcast with the Culture Keepers.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I go by the name of the Wizard Craig.
Yeah.
And we got the Wise One.
Yeah,
You can introduce yourself.
You already know. You already know it's the wise one. You know what I mean? And this time we really talking about hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And,
At least the state of hip hop.
Yeah. And they do State of the Unions. That's crazy.
State of the Union.
They do State of the Unions in hip hop. That shit is crazy. But you know,
What you been listening to?
well, I just want to say that, you know, it's always been and it always will be the greatest genre created. And we saw that at the Grammys.
Yeah, shout out to the Grammys.
Anybody who watched the Grammys, we saw how much hip hop impacts
Everything
and everybody.
Yep.
That, you know, it touches with the D'Angelo
The tribute.
It was so magnificent to blend hip hop, blues, jazz, and all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? We want to make this like a love letter or a homage to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like Culture Keepers, we the culture that we keeping,
God bless you.
that we know of, is hip hop. My bad, bro.
Yeah, hip hop is our culture.
Yeah.
Hip hop is our thing. Yeah, man. You a funny guy. Go on ahead. Shout out to my man Jade. You know what I'm saying? We show that nigga love.
Yeah, we got a hip hop.
I thought he was going to the bathroom.
We got a great hip hop artist in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
shout out to hip hop.
Yeah.
You get in there and show people what's up. Yeah, show some
Yeah.
love.
Yo, this is Black History Month. We doing it all the way black in here. But no, you know, like you're right. You know, hip hop, it has always been that that genre that kind of peeks through. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like you were saying about the state of hip hop. I'm glad you said that because it is in a particular state right now. Like, what would you say the state is it? Like, what would you call the state that hip hop is in right now?
I think hip hop is in a state of reshaping, rebranding, recalibrating, because we're getting a lot of people now starting to recognize other sounds in hip hop. And I believe that stems from the battle. I know we all be talking about the battle. We're tired of talking about the battle. You know, quite frankly, I'm tired of talking about it too. But the impact of it is where we're at now. So we kind of have no choice but to talk about it.
We in a post Kendrick Drake.
Post-apocalyptic world. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say recalibrating, because niggas is trying to figure out
hip hop is in a post Kendrick Drake battle world. That's crazy to think about. That's right.
Nah, because real talk. Like, even because you know, out here on the scene, right? You know, we're in Atlanta, so you know the music scene. You know, typically a lot of people always follow what quote unquote is the sound that's hot, right? You know, I could tell you of years and years of music showcases that I DJ'd, and everyone was doing trap rap. You know what I'm saying? Years and years of it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like now, right, where you got people wanting to do, you know, more groovy records, more like bouncy, like trying to like get people to dance, like trying to really reach that like not like us moment. And what I mean by the moment, not necessarily the whole diss and the whole blah blah blah, but the frequency of the music, of the sound.
Wow.
Because when you listen to what everyone was describing about Not Like Us, it was like, oh, it was the bop. It was the bop.
Bro.
He beat him at his own game. The bop,
Bro.
the bop, the bop. You get what I'm saying? So
I literally thought that we was going to see fucking Celebrity Deathmatch come out of retirement so that fucking Kendrick and Drake can have their battle on that screen. Like it really was Armageddon in a sense that, you know, it was too, you know, we've been talking about the blog era and how important it is to, you know, the time that we see right now and in the internet culture. So I just think that, you know, like you're right. You know, I agree with you because it definitely was the battle of all battles. But you brought up something that was interesting.
Talk to me.
You know, I definitely want to go deep into the. We got to talk about that goddamn.
What is it?
That goddamn Grammys.
Oh yeah, the Grammy.
We got to break down that Grammys, bro. We gotta talk about, especially when it comes to hip hop. You know, because
well, kind of like what I was telling you off mic. I think that the Grammys, just from the past few years, really has, you can tell inside of the building, in the room, that everybody is giving it up to our brothers and sisters. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to like be like, oh, the niggas, because it's like, you know, we all not.
Gotta say the niggas. This the niggas.
But I mean, essentially,
this the niggas. Niggas, they're giving it up to the niggas.
Yeah, everybody's sitting in there. It's like it's like a well. It is in front of the world, but it's like a respected well. We sitting here and we like, yeah, we giving it up to y'all, bro. Hey, look. We in the age of social media, so there's so much information that it's like you can't sit here and play in these niggas' face when it comes to all of this stuff.
Metrics and all of that.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanna thank Pharrell for shouting out Tribe Called Quest.
Shout out.
You know what I'm saying? Not that they don't get the respect they deserve. Of course, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? They just recently, and you know, they're honestly, arguably, one of the top best rap groups. You know what I'm saying? But that world stage of giving the platform of saying it, and you know, now everybody's hearing, oh, Tribe Called Quest. So now when they in their regular lives, when they hear it, it's kind of like a way of doing that. That's why we watch the Grammys. That's why we watch these things to kind of get hip. I feel like that's like the main thing that is cool about all of it. We get hip. Everybody's getting hip to all the music. Everybody's getting hip to all the new artists and everybody. Like Olivia Dean, I never knew who she was. Jade was showing me who it was. He was playing me a lot of her records, but putting a name to face, I was like, oh, whoa. That's Olivia Dean. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool having those moments too.
Yeah, he's one of the niggas that put me on too. I went to her Instagram. I was like, nah, for sure. But, you know, I think that one thing that makes hip hop so great is that it encapsulates so many other genres. And the fact that, you know, we have right now, I feel like like even with the Grammys, we see, like you were saying, they giving it up to the niggas and shit. They giving it up to the niggas, but, you know, the people who are in the R&B seat, the gospel seat, the, you know, whatever, they're still very hip hop.
Very much so.
You know what I'm saying? So it still shows that spirit of hip hop is something that, you know, like, even though he's, because I'm gonna say his name, I don't give a fuck what's going on, but, you know, African Bambaataa, he still did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, created
the Zulu Nation.
The Zulu Nation, and as far as like the elements and shit to kind of like form it into a culture. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, bringing all those people together.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to see it blossom into this full thing where, you know, you got Billie Eilish dressing like niggas from the 2000s, and
Billie Eilish has swag.
Right.
I liked her selection of clothes for sure.
Exactly.
The backwards cap, fitted cap, that's always gonna be a fresh look on any head, low key. You know what I'm saying? For real.
And I like, and I also appreciated. Yeah, you said about the Tribe Called Quest. Like that was so great because even with Tyler, like when he
that was a
shout out to what's his name, Rob Markman. Shout out to Rob Markman.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, shout out to Rob Markman. He does great with hip hop journalists. Somebody we inspired by. But yeah, he talked about how Tyler mentioned MF Doom. Mm-hmm. And if you watch, we culture keeping, if you watch that Michael Rappaport, documentary,
Beast Rhymes of Life.
Yeah. He, like, Phife Dawg literally mentions KMD as an honorary or just official group in native tongues. So it's like to think about MF Doom in native tongues, and then Tyler the Creator and Pharrell and all of that. It's like you see the lineage and see what Pharrell has done for the fabric of the 2000s when it comes to music. You know what I mean? So Pharrell's a motherfucker too. That's like that's like a magical nigga right there. Yeah. If you were gonna try to find a magical nigga, like just to find one, start with Pharrell, because like even niggas is like that's a magical nigga there.
Yeah, man. I just feel like now when it comes to when you bring up Pharrell, it's hard to talk about it without bringing up the other things, because when you watch all of the you watch the documentary, you watch the videos that be online, when you watch and hear about the interviews and things like that, it was him and Chad, what I'm saying, as far as like the music, what I'm saying, it was him and Chad, like, and of course, for me, when I think of the, like, magicalness, like, I think of that, like, I think of, like, I think of the Neptunes, but I also do be like, man, that nigga for real, what I'm saying, like, I see myself in that nigga, because, like, it's just something about it, so,
right.
But I think that it doesn't take away from all the other stuff that's outside of it too, because in his book, places and spaces I've been, you see how the music was the platform to do everything else, and that's where it's kind of like, okay, when it comes to all that other stuff, it's like, okay, when it comes to the music, I can understand, but the other stuff outside of it, it's like, bro, he's designing chairs, designing clothes for the he made the whole clothing brand where we go from Japan, the nigga that made Bape, what I'm saying, they made the ice cream, the Billionaire Boys Club, what I'm saying, like making more of that, like Billionaire Girls Club, just everything else, that he was like doing. It was kind of like, hey, we got it. That's a magical nigga. You got to give it to him.
No, you said it right, because that's again where hip hop went. It's like we saw it go from just artist to producer or promoter or whatever to mogul, the person who runs the company, to
designing clothes.
You could design clothes, and you know what I mean. And I think, like, going back to the Grammys, I think I saw a lot of people online talking about how it went from Ozzy Osbourne and rock and roll to D'Angelo, and that was kind of like
I felt like it was kind of tight, because
6'7".
Me personally, I thought that it was cool because I didn't know that Ozzy Osbourne was that old. No shade. I didn't know he was that old, bro. They came out in 68.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when they showed that picture of him on the screen, I was like, bro, he was a young nigga. They picked a young
and niggas don't know.
Ozzy Osbourne,
and niggas don't know. Like, we
crazy.
One of our things here in the Culture Keeper is to talk about how culture has been preserved. Preserved is, when you break it down, the word preserve is preserved. So, like, we learned about Ozzy Osbourne and all his kids.
Yeah, all the kids, the family. We knew about it from MTV.
Right. He used to be like, Joan, and I wouldn't go. We used to be like, what the fuck? We used to watch that shit all the time. It was on all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, and I remember him being an old nigga then.
Yeah.
So it was just like, see, now I'm like, wow. And then, it was kind of cool.
But it also is hot. It's hip hop.
Yeah, it is hip hop because
them punk rock people can identify with hip hop.
Yeah,
and we can identify with punk rock shit, and it's just like
the energy. I feel like the energy is,
and
the energy is kind of equal.
Right.
For real. It's an equal energy that is.
I mean, at that time, you still had rappers doing songs like Jay-Z. I did rap to control with the rap control. Right. You know what I'm saying? You still had rappers.
You talk about
what was the song?
99 Problems.
Yeah, 99 Problems.
Yeah, Rick. I think Rick Rubin. Produced
Rick
that
Rubin.
track.
And that's the thing.
Rick
You know
Rubin,
what I'm saying?
Rick Rubin.
To still have an artist. That's what we're getting at. Like hip hop used to birth the artist that was the world renowned artist.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to Black Eyed Peas. I'm just mentioning them right now.
But,
I'm gonna bring them up later.
Okay.
But I just wanted to finish what I was saying. Like,
okay.
You know, rappers used to really still incorporate rock music or punk rock music.
Well, because of the sampling, bro.
Yeah.
That's all hip hop was, and hip hop
Right.
still is foundationally sound wise is sampling.
Yeah.
We're taking records from other genres and playing the best parts of that song and mixing it with the best part of the other song, and it just sounds like out of this world. It still sounds out of this world to this day. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Even with the newer music and even with the newer people that are doing the newer sampling, yeah, it is a lot of lazy sampling. It is a lot of it, but there's also some picks that you can pick from there. It's like there's kind of time.
And the only reason why he could say that is lazy sampling is because we grew up in a time with Dr. J, DJ Quick, fucking Scott Storch,
yep,
fucking Timberland.
I'm about to say Timberland.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like they spoiled Swiss Beats. They spoiled us because like, or they was just putting down
Kanye.
I mean, he goes without.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But. You know what I'm saying? We really like they weren't lazy sampling. When you heard a sample, it was the song.
It was a newer song.
Your parents would be like, "Oh, I know that song. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know that song. You know what I'm saying?" And then your dad would play or your mom would play you that song, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay." Or
you would be in the car, or on the radio,
or you would be scrolling the TV and just haphazardly end up on a specific MTV or BET channel that's playing old school tracks or old school fucking videos. That's right. And you just happen to hear it, or you in the car listening to radio. You know what I'm saying? So like, we definitely had every piece of the puzzle.
Or you could hear him in the grocery store.
In the grocery store.
I remember hearing literally the same day, and I remember telling my mom this story. It's the same day it happened. Me and my grandma, we was at the grocery store. Before we went to the grocery store, I was watching music videos on their TV, and Home by Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Wow.
Featuring Phil Collins. They put Phil Collins on the song. It's a Phil Collins original song. But
I think I remember that,
yeah. So take me. That's the first time I heard the song, watched the music video. And literally, maybe 2 hours later, 2 hours later, we're in the grocery store and the original song is playing on the speaker. I was like, bro, the song is following me. The song is following me.
Was that like, what year was that? Because that was like in 2000 or something, right?
Yeah, 2004.
Okay, yeah.
2004, yeah.
Because I do remember Bone
Thugs and Harmony, yeah, they came back out.
Collabing with Phil Collins. I do remember that.
Remember they had that song with Akon? I try so hard.
That was Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Yeah.
Wow.
It ain't my fault.
I haven't went back to that song. That's Bone Thugs and Harmony. Not Akon song.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I do remember that now that you say that.
Yeah. Because remember when they came back out, it was only 3 of them.
Yeah.
Lazy Bone, Crazy Bone, and Wishbone.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I remember we was talking off camera, and I was saying that, talking about Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
I believe that Bone Thugs and Harmony is one of the greatest groups ever, right?
Word.
But as far as like groups and their brothers,
yeah,
we just, and coming back to Pharrell, we gotta give it to the Clips. Like the
man.
Clips is like the and it's not just about I feel like Bone has a good track record as far as discography as a group, right?
Yeah.
But the Clips to me has a great synergy as far as the music.
Yeah.
Their music now sounds like
You're funny as hell.
from what it used to be, and then it sounds like an evolution.
It's polished.
It polished. It sounds like an evolution of what they, and it's like
I love that about them too. I love
Right.
that about that album. I love that about. You're right.
every group has their claim to fame, their niche, their thing that makes them great. Like Run DMC is the primary group.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to know what a crew
Need
in
to be
the
look like, yeah.
basics
Yeah.
what it look like, you can go to Run DMC or Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but even in the backstories of them, and we can go into hip hop origins. This just about hip hop, period.
Yeah.
But
Because it was all about because when and it's funny when you say that, because when you say those groups, all that comes to mind is Uniform.
Right.
And when I think of Uniform, I always go to NWA.
Yeah.
Because of them all rocking a variation of an LA hat of any team. You know what I'm saying? Wearing a variation of any like black or anything like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was like a uniform like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was what makes the crew or what hip hop, that's a part of it too. The unifying of like, you know, the brotherhood, the showing it, representation. I think the Clips do that very well. Like it's something powerful about just standing there next to your brother. Like really just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, who are these boogeyman looking niggas, bro? Like, what the fuck? And then when you start getting into depth and you start hearing what's going on, it's like, oh, bro, this is just like.
And it's like even like Public Enemy though, like take it to Public Enemy.
Oh, yeah, Public Enemy.
But to see how that group, you had Chuck D to be the
flagship leader.
the voice.
Yeah.
You knew Flav was going to bring the people. You knew Griff was going to push the idea all the way through.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
and then you got to shout out my main man, Terminator X.
Terminator X. The DJ. You got to shout out Terminator
Gotta
X.
shout out Terminator X.
You know what I'm
always
saying?
Shout out the DJ.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It like one day there has to be an XXL and all these Billboard, whoever, be trying to do these little list of different groups. It ain't a list. It's about
it's everybody.
Yeah, it's about what that group particularly brought.
You
like
have to let everybody
from the Locks.
Okay, exactly everybody.
In the Locks, everybody. It's almost like as far as me growing up, I didn't never see the Locks as a group that did not have their solo albums, or you know what I'm saying. So when Jadakiss dropped Kiss of Death. Or what was it? Kiss of Life, Kiss of Death. But when Jadakiss dropped that shit, that's when I knew. I was like, yo, Styles P. When Styles P did We Gonna Make It, you know what I'm saying? I just knew about Sheet Loop. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, even with Dipset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the collective, the group type of situation, it's like, that is a big part of black music.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of hip hop, because even if these groups don't manage, or if somebody, you know, untimely demise, you know what I'm saying? These groups still hold these strongholds just of what they presented. Like a Tribe Called Quest.
Saint Lunatics.
The Saint Lunatics.
Saint Lunatics, bro.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. The Saint Lunatics is a good one.
Yeah, we was doing we did the Vinyl Thursday on Country Grammar. And you know, we was doing the research.
I forgot about the St. Lunatics. Remember they was on that game?
NBA
they
Street
was on
Volume 2.
NBA Street Volume 2. I used to play with them all the time. Niggas used to play with them all the time.
They were so short though. They were so small.
Yeah, they was all so
they
small.
They was dunking, but they was small as hell, bro.
It was all the same size,
bro. Cause you remember,
but Murphy Lee was shout out to Murphy Lee. Yeah. He won me a lot of games on NBA.
That's funny. Murphy Lee.
Volume 2.
I always played with Ali, and I always had Nelly and
the nigga with the mask. Kai something. What's his name?
It's not Kiwan. Well, it might be Key. Okay,
Kiwan. I think it's Kiwan.
I always mess it up. We gotta look it up because I don't even think that's his name.
Yeah, hold on, look it up.
But the nigga with the mask, he had the yellow mask.
Nigga with the mask.
He came later, like after the first album, after the Country Grammar at least.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew.
Because City Spud was there too, his brother.
And that's why these stories are so important to put this in a cultural context. Because I knew, because it holds so much information and so much impact as far as culture. You know what I mean? Like, I remember reading or watching something where Nelly wasn't the guy. It was like Ali or something. It was one of them other ones who was the guy at first, just like, Juvenile was the guy for Cash Money. And then shout out to Juvenile, shout out to Ali too. Not to take away, I'm not saying anything, but I'm just talking about the impact of the culture.
The culture.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The impact of the culture and the impact of the the music.
Yeah.
And how impacted us. Like, impact is the biggest measurement of culture.
Yeah.
And it's like
because
people
because you gotta represent.
And Lord, and I'm gonna say this. People like Whack 100 was saying like Nipsey's not a legend. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Nipsey's a legend because of his impact. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He left the impact that was legendary.
Right.
You can't, like, there's a lot of rappers who have the untapped minds. Rest in peace to all the rappers and all the musicians and all the artists and everybody and anybody who's lost a loved one in these past few years. But you know what I'm saying? His impact when he passed, you didn't even have to listen to Nipsey to get that impact.
That's true. Because everybody was pushing it and really exuding it and pushing it around, making sure everybody knew what it was. Like, I remember, too, when I first heard of Nipsey. I remember Willis. Shout out to my man Willis Cooks. Man, he downloaded his whole discography, bro, on my laptop.
It was Kaiwan.
It was Kaiwan? Kiwan? Yeah.
Kiwan.
Sorry, brother.
What are you saying about Willis, though?
He downloaded his entire discography on my laptop.
Wow.
And I was like, man, there's some good records. And I ain't gonna cap. I feel like when I first heard it, I kind of wasn't really like tapped all the way in. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't tapped all the way in. But then I remember when Victory Lap came out, I remember my brother actually, we talk about music every so now and again. And I remember him mentioning, he was like, hey, bro, did you listen to Victory Lap? I was like, I didn't. He was like, you should listen to it. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to it, and I ain't gonna cap, bro. That was the album that made me a fan. And it made me be like, oh, I really should fuck with this nigga. And I ain't gonna cap. When he died, I felt a little sad because it was like, bro, I just got hit. And now, seeing everybody who was impacted by it so close to it, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of like, you feel their pain in a almost like a standing outside looking at your brothers and sisters and folks crying and stuff, and you just be like, man, we want to give them a shoulder or give them a hug type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, I don't know what you feeling, but I do feel it though. You know?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And, and that may sound kind of crazy, but I guess sometimes like you got crazy people out there, crazy fans. They be like, you don't know. And I'm not trying to like cope like I'm like was the biggest Nipsey fan. You get what I'm saying? But like I was very hip. You know what I'm saying? I was hip in the way that I was hip.
Right. Yeah. Rest in peace, Nip, man. But yeah. Like, and that's the thing, man. Hip hop, it brings those characters because we don't have these characters in R&B, or we don't have these characters in, not R&B, like we don't have these characters in other cultures that's having these like music and that's making such an impact that's crossing over to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's our people from where we from that's giving us the biggest impact and also impacting motherfuckers in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, You know, it like it I was just playing earlier. I was DJing line dancing every Tuesday. JR, you know, tap in Dancing with Diego, look it up. Yo, I was playing a children's story, and just to see how that record does to everybody, even if you know you think you heard it but you didn't hear it, it's like it's just classic. To see, yeah, it's just one of those records. And you know, hip hop is not like, you know, Bow Wow I think was talking about this on another platform, but hip hop's not making those records anymore. Like we used to have those records like Let Me Hold You. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we used to have
those
those
records that you can sing along to. I feel like that's the best way that you can kind of put it, because when people describe those like times, or like, oh, it just doesn't have this no more with this, when you really listen to what that is, you kind of be like, oh, I know what you're talking about. Like, it just doesn't have that like singy songy element. It doesn't have that like bouncy element anymore. It doesn't have this and that. Like, I think that like what happens is songs become so good, it's just like, damn, what can we do after that? Circling back to the battle. Same concept. I think the women are having it, but it's, you know, it begs the different, like, the only thing about the women's song, and it's crazy that we're putting it on this episode, but the only thing I think about it's hip hop, but the one thing is that it's hard to be universal, because as soon as you say something very specific, I tap out. Like, soon as you talk about sex and from your perspective, I have a hard time listening to the song. Like, and it's not, and I be trying to flip it. Like, you know, like Lotto, like a lot of her music, you know, and there's a lot, it's like, when it comes to the women, you got to go to the album tracks. Yeah, of course. The B cuts. You know the B cuts are, but the B cuts always were the better songs on albums anyway. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Lotto definitely has a lot of B cuts. Yeah, 100%. Pray for my enemies. Yeah. Like that song. No, but that song. But see, that was a B cut. But I feel like it was only a B cut because, it came out when the album. We only heard it when the album came out. But I feel like it became a single though, because you know. I believe it. Like, I feel like certain songs become singles like after the album drops. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you still release them as singles, yeah, but I feel like there's certain songs that come after that become like singles. I feel like that was one of them. Like, that definitely, I remember hearing that everywhere. Like, DJs was playing it. Yeah, it was on the radio. I never remember hearing it on the radio. Yeah. I played it a lot at Sea Salt. And that's a great example. That's a great example of one of those songs that you don't have to, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a tight song. And then look, I feel what they be saying. They be like, the men's songs do that too, but it's like, you can sing, most of the time, you can sing that song and interpret it to your own, you know what I'm saying? Like, meaning. It's like, I can't. Yeah, it's not so much. I don't have a pussy. Yeah. But you in your mind can be like, I got a dick. So I can't like, I can't just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I do encourage women rappers, because, like, shout out to YK Niece, shout out to Bunna B. Like, I be hip to a lot of the young rappers coming up, and especially the young women rappers, and y'all got it right now. The women rappers got it right now. The only thing they gotta do is focus on making music that is universal. Like, we get y'all bad, we get y'all, but can y'all give me or tell me an experience that goes beyond you being bad and just you being a human? Show me it being bad, but give me an experience that goes beyond that. You know, if there's music out there that is like that, put it in the comments. Send it to us. Well, I remember, you know what I'm saying? Well, when you said that, like, I immediately thought of Tierra Whack. Tierra Whack was, that's a good one. Yeah. Tierra Whack, like, she was putting out music, and it was like all her singles was just like hitting, and I was like, bro, I'm loving this. Like, I love the Whack world. Like, I loved like everything that she was putting out. Like, and yeah, the substance part, like all the stuff you were saying, like yeah, I get an experience, like and there's times where she talks about young lady things, and it's kind of just like like
artist development,
like I feel like that's the thing, like I don't feel like I gotta like tune out or anything like that, like I just feel like it's a
but
vibe,
it's one thing it's one thing to slip it in there. It's another thing like to make it like
it all about it, like
like
WAP.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, and I want to be supportive.
To the WAP because I play the WAP.
I play it every. You gotta play it as a DJ.
Yeah, you gotta play.
But it's like I want to be even with like Megan Thee Stallion's first single, "Even the Free Like Me." It ain't easy to me.
You know what's crazy, bro? People's like
I can get the bars, and I fuck with it from a female's perspective for females. But what I see for female hip hop right now, where the sound is, because this is what we're talking about. Even coming back to the last episode or the last conversation with Drake, why I feel like this whole thing with Kendrick and Drake happened is because when Drake came out, bro, he took over superstardom in hip hop. It no longer was space for anybody else because Wayne was the one that all the other niggas was saying he the one. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Wayne was that guy.
Okay.
The nigga that Wayne was supposed to put on was supposed to go back to Wayne and go back to all the rest of niggas and be like, yeah, imagine if Drake did that. Imagine if Drake had songs produced by Q-Tip, and produced by Large Professor. Them niggas was still around. Large Pro. He's so hip hop, he ain't got not one song produced by Large Pro. He ain't got not one song produced by.
You talking about Wayne?
I'm talking about Drake.
What about say Wayne?
But Wayne was Southern.
Yeah,
he was Southern hip hop.
Okay.
It was understandable for him to have a song produced by with UGK, or to have a song with motherfucking Knife Wonder, or to have a song with goddamn you know what I'm saying? He was Southern.
Yeah.
He was Southern. We understood it made sense. But that's why I fuck with Tory Lanez. Shout out to Tory Lanez.
That's funny.
Because Tory Lanez at least acknowledged that I'm from Canada.
Well, I think,
and even with him, he at least with the remixing the songs.
But I mean, he was black. I mean, not saying that like Drake's not black.
No, Drake is more black than fucking.
But I wouldn't.
Tory Lanez.
More black than Tory Lanez?
I'm saying his dad from Memphis. Tory Lanez ain't got no dad from Memphis. His people from where Tory Lanez people from? Canada, I mean, I feel Jamaica, like, or whatever, the Caribbean. Like no shade, but I'm just saying.
I feel like your skin makes you black.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, I feel you.
Like, you know,
because yeah, we are talking about the
lineage, yes, your lineage and your birth and what you. Yes, correct.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right.
If you looking at Drake versus Tory Lanez,
right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be like,
yeah, no. The average young man,
that's a nigga.
Is definitely gonna go with the nigga. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Man. We listen. We done did that thing, man.
Yeah.
We finna wrap it up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Keep it in hip hop. This was keep it smooth.
Shout out to Currency. We're gonna do a.
I like Currency too.
We're gonna definitely do a fucking like roll call in the spirit of.
Too many, man.
There's too many people wait. Remember, you know,
like in
off camera, you told me your favorite movie was Do the Right Thing.
Yep, Do the Right Thing.
And you know, in the spirit of Do the Right Thing, in the spirit of Samuel Jackson, we definitely got to do a roll call because, you know, as much as we're saying these young people don't know these names, they need to know these names like Duke Ellington. They need to know Billie Holiday. They need to know Sarah Vaughan. They need to know motherfucking Lena Horne. They need to know all these people. They need to know Fletcher Henderson. They need to know all these people that we were able to know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cab Calloway. They need to know about Cab Calloway. And we are that center. So we're going to do a roll call, you know what I'm saying, one of these times. And if you got a name or artist that you trying to, you know, get into that name roll call, we even do a new artist too to put people on new artists. So send in your name, send in for the roll call. You know what I'm saying? We putting people on. We gonna give a name and where you from and what you do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Word, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the good people out there, you know what I'm saying? Coaching
Shout
People
out.
Podcast, you know what I'm saying? Tune in, like, comment, subscribe.
What you got coming up,
follow
brother?
Follow the YouTube, follow the Instagram, follow all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? As far as coming up events, we got the Vault Speakeasy, Chloe Steakhouse in Winder. We got that, you know what I'm saying, every other Friday, you know what I'm saying? Tune in with that. Check the Instagram to see when I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Follow me, Wizard Craig. We got Sea Salt Saturday. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a vibe. We got the ATL Shooters on Sunday. It's a modeling event. You know what I'm saying? You know, the sight to see. Shout out to my young lady.
That sounds crazy though. ATL Shooters sound
you know
crazy.
What I'm saying? We be doing the modeling, and that's the place where we be doing a lot of modeling work. It's thousands of photographers, thousands of models just going in there taking some pictures. I'm gonna be in there taking pictures, getting my modeling on, and also spinning the records. See what I'm saying? So we're gonna be doing a lot of that, and that's gonna be really fun.
So you doing modeling?
Yeah, sight to see. Shout out to all that. You know what I'm saying? I've been modeling.
If you got
I've been
brand.
modeling, but I haven't. I've been modeling, but I ain't gonna lie. I don't go as hard for it like I do with my other pursuits. Like I kind of look at it like, you know, hey, I do it like that. But I've been taking it a little bit more serious though, as far as just like, you know, being more intentional going to shoots. Like more intentional as far as just like actually kind of like looking up like themes and looking up creative direction and looking up you know, just more things that give it more depth. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of just taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like really trying to get like down with the art of it. You know what I'm saying? With the craft. And really trying to learn it and from that aspect and taking it in that way too. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I look good, of course, but like, you know, really trying to like really understand the science behind all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that comes in with that. So, you know, yeah. Shout out to Sight to See.
And shout out to hip hop for going to modeling, man. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like even with the modeling,
because
like,
hip hop is a model. It's a role model.
Yeah.
It's a real model.
When you look at Echo Unlimited, right? Like I don't even think it was Echo. It might have been South Pole. Whichever was the hip hop clothing brand that had Big Gip as the models, and they had Hugh Hefner in the ads. They had all them niggas in the ads with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Like that's my, like, you get what I'm saying? Like that's, and it's a picture in the Slam magazine. So it's like, you know, it's all art. It's a creative direction of the picture of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all a part of that. Like, you know, so I'm looking forward to doing all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Type shit.
It's tight, bro. Getting into other bags, man. Big bags. Creative bags. Yeah.
Hey man, you know I got coming up.
Yeah, about to say what you got going on, bro. Yeah.
You know it's Black History Month, brother. So, you know we still rocking on that Black History tip. You know what I'm saying? Follow me at Black Pittsburgh History. Follow me at the New Clan. You know what I'm saying? That's DANUKLANDANUKLAN. And we rocking like that, man. You know, it's all about the family, the New Clan. You know what I'm saying? We learning about family, you know, different ways to bring up our family. And, you know, as far as the Black Pittsburgh history stuff, hey, they talking about we need to focus on Black inventors.
Okay.
And I do, and I agree with that. But Pittsburgh was one of the places where jazz music really honed itself, man. Duke Ellington, which is one of the greatest American producers, like not just Black music producers and composers. He is one of the great, like by far probably the greatest composer in American history, who have composed so many different songs that you may have heard in different ways and not. And one of those compositions was finished in Pittsburgh, and where he met his protege, Billy Strayhorn, and he also not just that, finished that song there, used to always come there and had some of his greatest friends and associates, as reported in history, being there. So, you know, music and this tradition of hip hop and Black music is not just, entertainment for us.
Correct.
This is our cultural value system. This is where we store our thoughts, our mindset on everything, our intentions, and so that our children can listen to it, and hear it and receive it and thus live with it. So that's what we do. We preserve. We preserving.
Word.
You know, in culture keeping.
Live from the Wizardland. You know what I'm saying? We out of here. Peace out.
Hey, let's do it.